VBA comment lines start with a single quotation mark. Here's an example here. You see that the VBA coding is purple text. The comment is all in brown. It starts with that single quotation mark. Now, VBA text strings are put between two double quotation marks. Unlike the single quotation mark for comments, the double quotation mark contains data that will be executed by the VBA code and shown in message boxes, prompt boxes, and written out in Microsoft Excel spreadsheet cells or in Microsoft Word documents body text. This is an example of a text string used with a message box alert. That is one complete VBA code right there. And just so you would see what the text string part of it is that will also be written out in the executed by the code is the hello between the double quotation marks. So double quotation marks with text string between them is correct VB coding and will be shown and executed by the code, while the single quotation mark starts only at the left of the text string and will not be seen anywhere once the code is executed. VBA requires that a user uses an underscore symbol to force a single line of VBA coding to wrap to multiple lines within the VBA module. This is what it looks like wrapping in a Word document or in a book. All the purple is executable VBA coding. None of it contains any comments. So it's all required to be typed into the VBA module. You'll always know when a VBA code is wrapping in a book or in a Word document, because the lines will end with a word or a letter that is definitely not defined variables, arrays, or a VBA built-in object name. Here are some examples. You've already seen the document, the slide that preceded this one, where I named a variable, give variable container a unique name. That is the name of that actual variable that's going to hold something. Or you would have an equal 5 at the end of whatever it is, whether it's the variable, what's going inside the variable name, or whether that number stands for a color for the color index, varieties. Each color has a number that represents that particular color. Or a text string, as you can see here, reads with between the double quotation marks, Kenny is boring. And then you have what's called enumerations in Microsoft VBA, which would start with an Excel, in this case Excel portrait, etc. Lines that end like this are a single line. Lines that end like this are a single line of VBA code that is wrapping in Microsoft Word documents or in a book. So if you see a line that has end with like comma, space and, space I, that's not how VBA code lines end. So that's a wrapping. That's part of a wrapping VBA line of code. Or if you see at the very end of the line an and symbol, that right there shows that it's wrapping, because no VBA code ever ends with an and symbol. Now you're looking at a complete VBA code. That is exactly what I said. It's one full VBA code, but the fourth line starting at message box and just above end sub, that's all supposed to be one line of VBA coding. It just happens to be a wrapping code within a book or in Microsoft Word document. But in the module, it will not wrap. I have color coded the line that's actually a wrapping single line of VBA coding that shows in a Word document or in a book as wrapping, but you would type that in the VBA module as one line of code on the exact same line. It would not wrap in the module. Now we're going to look at some individual examples of codes that would be in a Word document or in a book, and then we're going to show you what it looks like in the VBA module, and then we're going to show you the end result of that code when it's executed. Please feel free to freeze or pause the video at any time if you need more time, but I'm going to go very fast. This is what one complete VBA subcode would look like. There are no Each one of these that you're looking at here, each line is a single line of code that is not wrapping. Each shows how it would look both in a Word document, and it would also look that way in VBA module window. This is what it looks like in the VBA module window for Microsoft Word. This is the result for that code. It's an alert. It would produce an alert or a message box that says, "My name is Kenny." This is another code. It's basically the exact same code we just looked at, but I've added comments here. And the comment is wrapping, as you can see, on both the lines where I've added the comments. Comments are unnecessary. You don't type those. If you see those in a book, or if you see those in a Word document, ignore them. You read them to find out why the author put them there or the coder put them there, but you do not waste your time retyping that in a VBA module window. This is what it looks like in the window, the VBA module. As you can see, comments are in green text, which means that they are basically just for show in the module, but they won't be executed. The black text is what will be executed. It produces the same result. This right here, once again, this right here, once again, is the exact same VBA code, but I've actually put comments even on the beginning subline and the ending subline, just to show you. This is what it looks like in the module. It produces the same result. Okay, this is a new code, and I've added 1, 2, 3 variables, and then the message box is going to produce the contents of all 3 of those message boxes, along with some text strings that I've added into that. Here's what it looks like in the VBA module. It will read, "My name is Kenny, and I saw elephants yesterday, and I like the color red." And once again, this is it with even more comments added in the VBA module again. Remember, black text is executable coding. The green is just comments. It's just for show. It produces the same result as the previous. Now, this is that code we just got through looking at, the long code that wraps, starting at message box, and it ends just above the end sub tag. This is the correct way to actually make it wrap within the VBA module. A VBA module, the only way that coding, a single line of code will wrap, going to multiple lines, is for you to use the underscore just before you would start typing the created variable or array or the built-in object names. You will not use an underscore where you would have any portion of a text string, where you would have any portion of a, double quotation mark, any portion of an and symbol before it, at least. You would have it only if it was taking the place of where the variable, array, or built-in VBA object name would have started. Then you would do a hard return and start typing your variable, array, or built-in object where it would have been on that same line. And I have identified those by the red text. This one is what it looks like using the underscores to break the text up in the VBA module. And that, notice, it's all black text, meaning that VBA module has accepted it. It will run and execute that properly. That is the result of breaking it up, but it still runs because I have broken it up correctly. This is the same code, but I have broken it up incorrectly. Notice the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line. I broke that up incorrectly. Notice how I have the underscore just inside of a text string where you have a double quotation mark after it. That is incorrect coding. It will not work. This is what it looks like in the VBA module. It recognizes directly after where I have that incorrect underscore, it shows all red text. It will not execute.